Hey everyone, it's Carly and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a view of all my classics, so basically my classics collection. As you guys know, I have a classics readathon coming up next month in May, so this is kind of just like a self-promo to show, hey, we have a classics readathon coming up, join, you know? So if you guys want, I will leave a link up in the cards so you guys can get more information on that, because I have a full announcement video. So if you guys want to join, go ahead and join. It starts May 1st to March 31st, so basically the entire month of reading, and I'm really excited. And with that being said, that means I needed to get more classics. And I don't really have that many, honestly, but I do have a good amount, and I have actually double of some of the books that I have, so like multiple copies of one. So I'm basically just going to show you all my classics, and it's going to be forever growing, but for right now it's kind of minimal. So these are also kind of some of the books that I'll probably be trying to make time for in the classics readathon. So yep, let's just get started. So the first one I'm going to start with is probably not a shocker, but The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. As you guys know, I gave this my first 5-star rating of the year, and I love this book. I'm not going to go into detail about all these books at the same time, and because my camera's dying. So yeah, I love The Great Gatsby. My original copy was this one. I got it from a store called Ollie's for $2.99. I didn't annotate it or anything because I didn't know if I was going to like it at all. And then I found this one at my thrift store, and somebody had already started to write in it and annotate it. So like they wrote on the side of the pages here, so I thought that was really cool, and I just kind of wanted a second copy of it. I kind of want to start collecting like the Great Gatsby copies and just start collecting a bunch of copies, because there's so many copies of the Great Gatsby, and it's like one of my favorite classics, basically the only classic I've actually read so far this year. But there will be more next month, so hopefully not, hopefully that'll continue staying my main one. So who knows if a different classic will take the place of the Great Gatsby. The next book that has 2 copies is Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte, and I didn't realize that I had 2 copies. So my first one I got was from a local bookstore, and I didn't realize that I already had a copy of it. And this one has like speckled edges. I forget what it's called. It's really like, yeah, I don't know what they're called. Those interesting edges. And then for my birthday, I got this bigger copy with very small font of the Wuthering Heights, and this one has like a cool picture on the front, and then this one just has a couple on the front. It's most likely Heathcliff and Catherine. Yeah, I'm really bad at the names, and I'm not gonna go into detail what these are about, but I know this is a romance classic, and I've heard this from I've heard this from multiple books and multiple movies, so I'm pretty sure this one won't disappoint. So I'm actually really excited to read these, but I have 2 copies of these. Next is a book that I have yet to read, and I don't know if I'll ever read it. I'm kind of just keeping it because I think someone gave it to me as a gift when I was younger, and just because it's really pretty. It's just Alice in Wonderland by Hallmark Books. This is a Hallmark Books copy, and it's velvet, so it's really freaking pretty, and it has Alice on the front, obviously. And then I got this from somebody, an uncle, I guess, in 2007. So it's a really pretty copy. It has like big font, so I mean, if I were to read it, it probably wouldn't take too long. I was never really interested in Alice, and so that's why I never read it, but have that one. Next is The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton, and I only picked this up at my local bookstore because my friend was obsessed with this book, and she said it was really good, and I needed more classics to read for next month, so I got this one. And it's a smaller copy. I usually don't like mass market copies, but it'll do. Another mass market is The Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger, and my mom told me to pick this up when we went to like some random little book sale, and yeah, this one I will try and make time for next month as well. One of my favorites that we're buddy reading next month for the Classics-a-thon is The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. So in high school I had to do like a research paper, and I had to pick an author, and I got picked by Sylvia Plath. I had no clue who she was, and so I had to do research. I had to use her book. I never really read her book, but I used a few little snippets from her book, but I really was not appreciative of her writing and her books and her poetry and stuff like that, so I'm giving her another chance. Sylvia Plath is also one of my favorite like classic author. I love her story, not only was her as an author, but I like her story, her death and all that kind of stuff, which is really morbid, but like I like her death and like just her life, I guess. It's just very like relatable. She was very depressed, so I don't know, I like hearing about her. This is basically like an autobiography for her about her life, The Bell Jar, which she wrote, so I'm excited for this one. Next is another readathon buddy read, and that is Emma by Jane Austen, and then I also have Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. These are 2 really gorgeous covers that I think I got from Book Depository, possibly. I don't really know, but these are so freaking pretty. I love them so much. They're so gorgeous, and these are Wordsworth's classics, editions, I'm guessing. And Pride and Prejudice is like the main like classics you always hear about. And then there was Emma, which one actually intrigued me as well. And we are buddy reading Emma, and I'm really excited to read these because I want to know how well Jane Austen writes and just how well these classics will go for me. And I'm really excited to read a lot of these classics, even though my brain is going to be like screaming at me to stop reading classics because it's going to hurt, but I'm excited. Down to the last 2 classics. The next one that I have is Great Expectations by Charles Dickens, and this is a big one. And again, I think this is another romance. Again, I don't really remember much of these books, but I know, and I knew at the time when I bought them, but I'm excited to read this one even though it's a big chunk. I love the color, I love the picture. It's just super pretty, and yeah. And lastly, from my thrift store, I got The Scarlet Letter by Nathaniel Hawthorne. And I've heard about this. People in my high school had to read this. I never got to read it, but I will now. So I'm excited to read this. It's a very tiny copy, and it's in kind of a beat up old shape. So this is an older copy for sure. This is Dover Thrift Editions, so that's pretty cool. There you have it, guys. That is basically my collection of classics for right now. It's definitely going to be growing, so let me know down below some of your favorite classics and some more that I should read, because I'm actually really wanting to read a lot more and to add more into my pile of books to read for next month, even though that's a little bit ballsy on my end with my recent schedule change and new job and stuff like that. So I doubt I'll get through half of these books, but hopefully, fingers crossed, you know. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, give it a big like and subscribe down below, join the family, and I will see you on my next video. Bye, guys.